All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government is fully committed to principle of reform, perform and transform. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 94.20% in the country. Fifth round of talks between centre and farmers to be held in New Delhi today. Interministerial central team to inspect damages due to the cyclone Nivar in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry to begin its 4-day tour. And in cricket, India beat Australia by 11 runs in the first T20 International at Canberra. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now, the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the government is fully committed to the principle of reform, perform and transform. Delivering his keynote address at IIT 2020 Global Summit, organized by Pan IIT USA, Mr. Modi said there is no sector left out from the ambit of reforms.
Ours is a government fully committed to the principle of reform, perform, transform. There is no sector left out from our reforms. Agriculture, atomic energy, defense, education, healthcare, infrastructure, finance, banking, taxation, the list goes on.
He listed many path-breaking reforms brought in by the government in various sectors, such as assimilating 44 union labour laws into just 4 codes, having one of the lowest corporate tax rate in the world, production-linked incentive scheme in 10 key sectors to enhance exports as well as manufacturing.
We have brought path-breaking reforms in the labour sector, assimilating 44 union labour laws into just 4 codes. Our corporate tax rate is one of the lowest in the world. A few weeks ago, the Indian cabinet cleared a path-breaking production-linked incentive scheme in 10 key sectors. This decision was taken to enhance export as well as manufacturing.
The Prime Minister highlighted that even in these testing times of COVID-19, India has got record investment and much of this investment has come in the tech sector.
In these testing times of COVID-19, India has got record investment. Much of this investment has come in the tech sector. Clearly, the world sees India as a trustworthy and promising partner. Friends, the collective force of the Pan IIT movement can add momentum to our dream of becoming an Atmanirbhar or self-reliant India.
The Prime Minister said, our actions today will shape our planet's tomorrow. He said the post-COVID-19 order will be about relearning, rethinking, re-innovating and reinventing.
Our actions today will shape our planet's tomorrow. The post-COVID-19 order will be about relearning, rethinking, re-innovating and reinventing in almost every field. This, along with a series of economic reforms, is what will re-energize our planet. It will ensure ease of living and positivity impact the poor as well as marginalized. We also saw how several innovations that came out during the pandemic emerged from collaboration between the industry and academia.
He said the world today needs viable solutions to adjust to the new normal. Mr. Modi added that the government is working with many countries in Southeast Asia and Europe to ensure that our youngsters get an international platform to showcase their skills and learn from best practices globally. He said India hosted the Vaibhav Summit, which brought together top quality talent in the fields of science and innovation. He said this summit set the tone for future collaborations in science and innovation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the country will have a vaccine against coronavirus in the next few weeks. Addressing the all-party meeting yesterday, Mr. Modi informed that Indian scientists are confident of coming up with a vaccine against the corona menace in the next few weeks. He said 8 possible vaccine candidates are under different phases of trials in the country.
भारत की अपनी 3 अलग-अलग वैक्सीन का ट्रायल अलग-अलग चरणों में है। एक्सपर्ट्स ये मानकर चल रहे हैं कि अब कोरोना की वैक्सीन के लिए बहुत ज्यादा इंतजार नहीं करना पड़ेगा। माना जा रहा है कि अगले कुछ हफ्तों में कोरोना की वैक्सीन तैयार हो जाएगी। जैसे ही वैज्ञानिकों की हरी झंडी मिलेगी, भारत में टीकाकरण अभियान शुरू कर दिया जाएगा।
The Prime Minister said that the world is looking towards India for a cost-efficient and effective vaccine against the pandemic. He said through the collaborative efforts of the scientific fraternity, the country will deliver a viable option for mass vaccination in near future. The Prime Minister informed that the vaccination program in the country will commence after a nod from the research scientists. He said the country has a robust network for such massive vaccination programs and appropriate cold storage facilities are also being added for proper storage and supply of the vaccines. Mr. Modi said the healthcare workers and frontline corona warriors will be the ones who will be administered the vaccine first. He informed that the detailed priority list for the vaccination program will be prepared with the assistance of the state and union territory governments. The Prime Minister said that the pricing of the vaccine will be decided only after due consultation with the state governments, keeping public health care as the topmost priority.
वैक्सीन की कीमत कितनी होगी, इसे लेकर भी सवाल स्वाभाविक है। केंद्र सरकार इस बारे में राज्य सरकारों के साथ बात कर रही है। वैक्सीन की कीमत को लेकर फैसला जन स्वास्थ्य को सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता देते हुए किया जाएगा और राज्य सरकारों की इसमें पूरी सहभागिता होगी।
Beginning today, the News Services Division will bring glimpses of the year that was in our special series Year Ender 2020. COVID-19 pandemic has been the biggest story of the year, and India has seen a fight back against the disease under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India's COVID-19 infections per million and deaths per million are both much lower than many developed countries. India, in fact, was among the quickest to react at the government and institutional level. Talking to AIR News, Niti Aayog member Dr. V.K. Paul said that India has responded to corona pandemic in a graded, stepwise and proactive manner over the past 9 months. He said as per the estimates, lakhs of COVID-19 cases were averted and several lives were saved.
जो इस पॉजिटिव केस के कांटेक्ट में आया, उसके साथ जो उसका साथ था, उसके पहले कुछ दिनों तक ऐसे व्यक्तियों को भी नजर में अपने आप को रखना है, अलग होना है, ताकि दूसरों की तरफ आपका संक्रमण आपसे ना जाए। ऐसे हम जिम्मेवारियां निभाएंगे, देश की क्षमता बढ़ाएंगे, अपने आप को कोरोना से बचाएंगे और अपने से आगे संक्रमण ना हो, वो जिम्मेवारी निभाएंगे। तो इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है कि इस संक्रमण को हम पूरा कंट्रोल करेंगे, जानें भी बचेंगी और हमारी इकोनॉमी भी बचेगी, व्यवसाय भी बचेंगे और हमारा देश इस महामारी कैलेमिटी से, मुसीबत से उभर कर एक आत्मनिर्भर और सशक्त भारत बनके सामने आएगा।
Our correspondent takes a look at the quick decisions taken by the centre in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic.
Containing the spread of coronavirus has been a big challenge and India stood up to it with the Prime Minister leading from the front. On 20th March, Mr. Modi addressed the nation and gave the call a unique Jan Bhagidari initiative, Janta Curfew. People responded spontaneously and this prepared the nation mentally for an upcoming lockdown. It was followed by a nationwide lockdown from March 24th. The period of lockdown was utilized to create 15,362 dedicated COVID-19 health facilities, about 15,40,000 isolation beds, 2,70,000 oxygen-supported beds and 78,000 ICU beds. Screenings, quarantine, isolation, advisories, guidelines and protocols were put in place to ensure the safety of the citizens. Doctors, paramedics, healthcare and frontline workers put their best foot forward. Test, track and treat became the mantra. From one COVID testing lab in January, the nation now has more than 2,000 functional labs. More than 1 million people are being tested on a daily basis. Currently, India has one of the highest recovery rates in the world. India has now become self-reliant in production of masks, PPE kits, and ventilators. It speaks volumes about India's fight against corona. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
India has crossed a significant milestone in its fight against COVID. With cumulative recovery of over 90 lakh people so far, the recovery rate has further improved to 94.20%. The number of daily recoveries also continue to outnumber the new daily cases, taking the total recovered cases in the country at around 22 times the number of active cases. The daily positive cases have been below the 50,000 mark for 27 consecutive days. In the last 24 hours, nearly 36,500 new cases were reported, while nearly 43,000 people recovered successfully in the same time span.
In Assam, the Health Department has prepared elaborate plans to distribute COVID-19 vaccine in the state. Senior health officials informed AIR correspondent that facilities have been developed to store 3.71 crore doses of vaccine. More from our Guwahati correspondent.
The online registration of the 3% frontline workers of the total population have been completed in Assam, who would get vaccine in the first phase. The Assam government is also mulling to involve teachers in this category. After that, nearly 17% people of above 50 years of age would also be given vaccination. The Health Department is regularly holding review meetings with district officials. Apart from a state-level vaccine store in Guwahati, Health Department is also operating 5 regional vaccine stores at Guwahati, Goalpara, Dibrugarh, Tezpur and Silchar to maintain the cold chain system. Well-equipped vaccine delivery van to be acquired soon. Preparation is also being made to start training for health workers ahead of the vaccination. Manas Pratim Sharma, AIR News, Guwahati.
The Uttar Pradesh government is making all preparations for COVID-19 vaccination in the state. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has already set the deadline of 15th December to complete all the necessary works related to the COVID-19 vaccination drive. More from our correspondent.
Additional Chief Secretary Health Amit Mohan Prasad presided the meeting of a special task force set up for the COVID vaccination drive and reviewed the arrangements of listing of vaccinators, hub centers, arrangement of biomedical vests and training procedure of vaccinators in every district. He asked officials to upload the data related to every health worker in each district and take the certificate of the completion of the work. Meanwhile, after a long gap, the number of new COVID patients is now decreasing in the state. Yesterday, the number of patients recovered in 24 hours was more than the new active cases. COVID situation is also improving in those districts which shared their border with National Capital Region. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Gujarat recorded 1,510 new cases during the last 24 hours. The recovery rate has improved and reached 91.28%. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
The number of total cases of COVID-19 detected so far in Gujarat has reached up to 2,15,819. Out of this, 1,96,992 patients recovered. 1,627 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. More than 81,02,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date. Maximum 322 new cases reported from Ahmedabad, while Surat recorded 249 new cases. At present, total active cases in the state are 14,778, out of which 92 patients are on ventilator. 18 patients died yesterday, taking the total deaths due to COVID-19 up to 4,049. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Maharashtra reported 5,229 new cases of coronavirus infection yesterday, taking its total tally to 18,42,587. According to the state's Public Health Department, 6,776 patients were discharged yesterday post-recovery, while 127 others succumbed to the infection. Meanwhile, in the wake of shortage of blood in the state, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has urged citizens to voluntarily come forward and donate blood. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
Maharashtra Chief Minister said that the state currently has blood stock that would last not more than 10 days. He has urged citizen bodies, NGOs, religious bodies and residential societies to organize blood donation camps while keeping in mind all the necessary health and COVID-19 protocols. On the other hand, Maharashtra government has issued a notification citing that the blood banks found guilty of overcharging will be dealt with a strict hand. State Public Health Principal Secretary Dr. Pradeep Vyas said that irregularities like refusal to give blood to thalassemia patients, recovery of processing fee, not displaying daily blood stocks on websites, and above all, overcharging for plasma bags against the stipulated price have come to the fore recently. Madhuri Pange, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Madhya Pradesh, classes for students from class 1 to 8th will be closed till March 31st due to COVID-19. In the review meeting of the School Education Department, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan said yesterday that radical changes have to be brought in the field of school education in Madhya Pradesh so that the education in the state can be the best. A report from our Bhopal correspondent.
The upcoming new academic session will now start on 1st April 2021 in Madhya Pradesh. Class 1 to Class 8 will be evaluated on the basis of project work. At the same time, the board exams of Class 10th and 12th will be taken and their classes will start soon. During the meeting, Chief Minister Sri Chauhan also instructed the officials to prepare a year-wise detailed action plan for 10,000 high-quality schools to be opened in the state in the next 3 years. In order to improve the quality of education, the government schools running on the same campus have been integrated under the Ek Parisar Ek Shala scheme in the state. According to the new education policy, a committee of experts will be formed for guidance in the field of education in the state. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Professor of Endocrinology at All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, Dr. Rajesh Khadgawat says there is no medicine for coronavirus as of now. The only way to avoid it is to follow precautions. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Khadgawat said one must not lower the guard as the pandemic is still on.
Corona is a respiratory virus which spreads through respiratory secretions. We do not know much treatment about corona, but maintaining physical distance and wearing masks will protect us from corona to 80 to 90% of the time. Apart from that, washing hands regularly will help us to protect from the corona. Please remember, corona has not gone, corona is still there, and by taking these steps, we can protect ourselves, our dear ones from the corona. Till corona vaccine is widely available, we have to adopt these steps.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government is fully committed to principle of reform, perform and transform. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 94.20% in the country. Fifth round of talks between centre and farmers to be held in New Delhi today. Interministerial central team to inspect damages due to the cyclone Nivar in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry to begin its 4-day tour. And in cricket, India beat Australia by 11 runs in the first T20 International at Canberra. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
The fifth round of talks between the government and the representatives of Farmers' Union is scheduled to be held in New Delhi today to address the issues concerning them. The fourth round of talks between the two sides was held on Thursday, in which the representatives of 40 farmers' unions participated in a dialogue with Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, Railways Minister Piyush Goyal and Minister of State for Commerce Som Prakash. Senior officials from the Agriculture Ministry and the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution also participated in the dialogue. The meeting was held in a cordial atmosphere and a transparent manner. During the meeting, Agriculture Minister Tomar reiterated the government's commitment to the welfare of the farmers.
हम लोग प्रारंभ से ये बात कह रहे थे कि भारत सरकार किसानों के हितों के प्रति पूरी तरह प्रतिबद्ध है। भारत सरकार इस बात पर विचार करेगी कि एपीएमसी सशक्त हो और एपीएमसी का उपयोग और बढ़े। जहां तक नए एक्ट का सवाल है, उसमें एपीएमसी परिधि के बाहर प्राइवेट मंडियों का प्रावधान है, तो प्राइवेट मंडियां आएंगी, लेकिन प्राइवेट मंडी और जो एपीएमसी एक्ट के अंतर्गत बनी हुई मंडियां हैं, उन दोनों में कर की समानता हो।
Mr. Tomar assured the farmer unions that the minimum support price MSP will continue and therefore the farmers need not fear that it will go away. The interministerial central team deputed to make an on-the-spot inspection of the damages due to the cyclone Nivar in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry will begin its 4-day tour today. The 8-member team is led by Union Home Ministry Joint Secretary Ashutosh Agnihotri. It is represented by the central ministries, including agriculture, highways, finance, power, rural development, fisheries and water resources. The cyclone Nivar crossed the shores in northern Tamil Nadu, close to Puducherry, between the 25th and 26th of November, causing damages to farmlands and infrastructure. A report from a Chennai correspondent.
The interministerial central team is expected to begin its evaluation of the damages caused by the cyclone this afternoon, with a briefing by the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy. Its members are expected to visit several parts of 8 districts, including Chennai, Chengalpattu, Kanchipuram, Tiruvallur, Kadalur, Viluppuram, Vellore and Tirupattur, besides Puducherry till Monday. After their return to Chennai on Tuesday, they would hold discussions with the state government officials with the inputs they gathered from their field visits. They are expected to have a debriefing session with the Chief Minister later before winding up the tour and submit their report to the Union Government. Jai Singh, AAR News, Chennai.
Information and Broadcasting Ministry has issued an advisory on advertisements on online gaming, fantasy sports and others. It has asked all the broadcasters that the guidelines issued by the Advertising Standards Council of India, ASCI, are complied with and advertisements broadcast on television adhere to these guidelines. The guidelines will be effective from the 15th of this month. As per the guidelines, no gaming advertisement may depict any person under the age of 18 years or who appear to be under the age of 18 engaged in playing a game of online gaming for real money winnings or suggest that such person can play these games. It said, for print and static, every such gaming advertisement must carry the disclaimer that this game involves an element of financial risk and may be addictive, so please play responsibly and at your own risk. Maharashtra's Agriculture Minister Dada Bhuse has asked district officials and public servants to undertake awareness campaigns to explain the importance of soil fertility tests to farmers. Today, World Soil Day, Mr. Bhuse has said that farmers must know about the proper use of fertilizers that help maintain soil health. He said the reading to soil certificates as issued under the Soil Health Card scheme must be read to farmers. It contains crop-wise recommendations on nutrients and fertilizers required for the individual farms to improve productivity. World Soil Day 2020 and its campaign, Keep Soil Alive, Protect Soil Biodiversity, aims to address the growing challenges in soil management, fighting soil biodiversity loss, increasing soil awareness and encouraging governments, organizations, communities and individuals around the world to commit to proactively improving soil health. Talking to AIR News, member Niti Aayog Professor Ramesh Chand said,
कृषि का जो हमारे प्राकृतिक संसाधन हैं, जैसे जमीन है, पानी है, इनका एक बहुत ही नजदीक का रिश्ता है और दोनों की आपस में सिनर्जी है। जब सॉइल अच्छी होती है तो कृषि की उत्पादकता अच्छी होती है। यदि हम कृषि अच्छी तरह से करते हैं तो हम सॉइल पे भी कोई नेगेटिव या कोई गलत प्रभाव नहीं डालते। सॉइल जो है हमें ये रिकॉग्नाइज करना चाहिए कि वो एक लिविंग मैटर है। सॉइल में ये एक बैलेंस तरीके से सॉइल को हम न्यूट्रिशन देते हैं, उसमें एक संतुलन रखना चाहिए। केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर हम देते हैं, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ हमें जो इनऑर्गेनिक सोर्सेज हैं उनको भी यूज करना चाहिए।
In Telangana, the ruling Telangana Rashtra Samiti TRS has emerged as the largest party in the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation election. The TRS won 55 of the 150 division GHMC election, while the BJP got 48 wards and the AIMIM, led by Asaduddin Owaisi, secured 44. The Congress could win only 2 divisions. Counting of votes had to be stopped in one division at Neredmet, following a High Court direction. In the previous election, held in 2016, the TRS had scored 99 seats, the AIMIM 44 and the BJP 4. The TRS saw about 40% drop in its tally from the previous elections, while the BJP has made big gains at the cost of the ruling party.
On to sports. India defeated Australia by 11 runs in the first T20 International at Manuka Oval, Canberra, to take 1-0 lead of the 3-match series. T. Natarajan and Yuzvendra Chahal took 3 wickets each as the Indian team came out with a clinical show to draw first blood. It was a dream debut for a southpaw speedster, T. Natarajan. He maintained his calm and kept the ball in the area of uncertainty and claimed 3 important wickets. The visitors set a moderate target of 162 to the hosts. KL Rahul scored 51 runs and R. Jadeja scored 44 runs for the visitors. Moises Henriques claimed 3 wickets and Stark scalped 2. The second T20 match will be played on the 6th of December at Sydney Cricket Ground. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital will have a shallow fog in the morning and mainly clear sky later, with temperature varying between 10 and 28 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. The temperature will vary between 20 and 35 degrees Celsius. Chennai is likely to have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The temperature will hover between 23 and 25 degrees. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was 17 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 29 degrees. Srinagar may witness generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 1 degree Celsius and 10 degrees. In Jammu, the minimum temperature was 11 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 23 degrees. The city will have partly cloudy sky. Leh will have generally cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was -6 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 4 degrees. Gilgit will experience generally cloudy sky, with temperature hovering between 0 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees. Muzaffarabad will have generally cloudy sky. The temperature will move between 4 and 18 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 9 and 25 degrees Celsius. The city will have mainly clear sky. Chandigarh will have mainly clear sky. The temperature is likely to move from 10 to 24 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature was 15 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 31 degrees. The city will have partly cloudy sky with haze. Ahmedabad will witness a clear sky. The minimum temperature was 15 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 34 degrees. Patna will have fog or mist in the morning and mainly clear sky later. The temperature will hover between 12 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. All the dailies prominently lead with Prime Minister's announcement on COVID vaccine being available in a few weeks. Public health priority will decide vaccine cost, writes the Indian Express. 1 crore health workers to get shots first, says the Pioneer. The Hindu observes financial aid sought for states. Hindustan Times writes economic recovery from next year itself on the back of positivity and confidence due to COVID-19 vaccines. Business Standard quotes the finance minister saying every sector is showing signs of revival. A front page headline in the Economic Times reports rates unchanged, RBI bets on liquidity to boost economy. And finally, the Times of India writes on a study by IIT Bombay on the Urban Quality of Life Index in Indian cities. Mumbai offers highest quality of life. Chennai treats its women best, reports the paper.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government is fully committed to principle of reform, perform and transform. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 94.20% in the country. 5th round of talks between centre and farmers to be held in New Delhi today. Inter-ministerial central team to inspect damages due to the cyclone Nivar in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry to begin its 4-day tour. And in cricket, India beat Australia by 11 runs in the first T20 International at Canberra. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.